Hello there. Nothing like starting the day with a beverage. So, I'm gonna have my sip first. And then we're good to go. Hello everyone, I'm Jen, and thank you for tuning in to Dear Future Grandkids. This is the show that asks the question, what would you say to your future grandkids? Like, what life lessons, legacy, stories, and memorabilia do you want to share with the next generation? Because life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop to look around once in a while, you could miss it. Thank you all for joining us. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube as well, and you're going to love our guest for today. So let's get cracking. She is a multi-award-winning picture book illustrator, graphic novelist, and a film producer. Born in Calcutta, India, and after living in Singapore for over a decade, she now lives in the UK with a first-class distinction, a Master of Arts degree in children's book illustrations and graphic novels from London. Her illustrated stories have been published in the UK, the US, Singapore, India, Hong Kong, and Canada. She works with the publishers including Penguin Random House, HarperCollins, the Oxford University Press, Flying Eye Books, Learner Books, Barefoot Books, and more. I'm just tired even just saying and naming all of these publishers. Now, her illustrated animation shorts have been showcased at the Raindance Film Festival in London and Toronto. And as an international feature film producer, she works closely with streaming platforms and indie film productions to create international drama. Her debut feature, Before Life After Death, premiered at the Singapore International Film Festival in 2022 and is now streaming on Netflix. You heard that right? Netflix. Now, partnering with global development agencies, national book councils, artistic networks, and international schools, she trains emerging visual storytellers. She actively advocates for diversity and multiculturalism, particularly in children and young adult literature. Look, let's welcome, dear future grandkids, the Debasmita Dasgupta. Hey, Shmita, how are you?
Hey, Jen. Hi.
Hi,
How
so
are
good to have
you?
you. Thank you for joining us. From sunny UK, I see.
Well, we are lucky. The sun is out today. I think it's all because of you. You're bringing from Singapore, you're bringing the sun to me.
Fantastic. It's the least I can do. But thank you so much for being on the show. And of course, just the introduction, we know that you've done so much and there's so much more that you want to do as well. But first and foremost on the show, we always start with some quick fire questions. So some questions will come at you thick and fast and just answer
Okay.
as quickly as you can. Okay. So you ready?
Okay. I'll try.
Okay. Here we go. Let's jog your memory. What's the
Mhm.
first book that you read? Do you remember the first book you read?
The first book was a book by this Nobel laureate Bengali writer Tagore, and it's called Sahoj Path, which is simple reading.
Wow. And how old were you? Do you remember?
I was very, very young. And this is a book that usually all Bengalis read when they are, first introduced to books. So that's how I also ended up reading it.
Fantastic. Now, it's a bit of a tough one because obviously this is something that you love.
Mm.
What is, and is it even possible, do you have a favorite book?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Of course, there are many, but one book that really, really stayed with me for a very long time. And I, you know, keep thinking about that book. Actually, there are two, if I'm allowed to, but I'll
Of
start with
course you
one.
are. Oh, yeah.
The first one is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. And that book really, really created a big impression on me when I was reading it. And the second book is called 10 Minutes and 38 Seconds in This Strange World by Elif Shafak. That is a fantastic book. It was a slow burner, but by the time you reach the climax, it just grabs you and it doesn't let you go. So, yes, those are my two favorite books.
Nice. Do you ever return to these two books every now and again?
I do. In fact, with Elif Shafak's book, I did a piece which I illustrated. So the climax scene, I actually illustrated it in the form of a graphic novella because I was so much in love with that part that I just thought of, sequencing that thing through my illustrations.
Nice. Amazing. Now, do you have An indulgence. What's your greatest indulgence?
My greatest indulgence. Okay, that's a tough one.
I indulge
Oh,
my wife would be mine. So
sorry.
I indulge my wife, so that's probably my greatest.
Well, I think that would be also, I do that to my husband quite a lot and to some of my friends. So some very close ones.
Nice. Um, do you have any rituals?
I do. Um, so there are, several rituals that I follow over the day. Like you said when you were introducing me, I do a lot of things. So I am only able to do it if I'm disciplined. So I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is I have my coffee. Then I
Okay.
do my yoga. Then I call my mother, and
So this is daily. You do that
every
in
day,
that all.
every day.
Wow. Okay.
And usually I sit here while I'm calling my mother because this is the part of the house which is facing the east, and I see the sunrise if the sun rises. And then I, start my day with the daily, work. It could be starting with some meetings, or it could be just illustrations. But as the day goes, it follows with different things, different engagements.
Nice. So it's a really important ritual, and I just hope that my kids, when they grow up and when they leave the house, to ensure that they call their mom or their dad as part of their daily ritual. That is something we all strive to achieve as parents.
If I don't do that, then my mother will go crazy. So she's like, "What is happening? What is happening?" So better I
I've,
do it in the morning and get it
I've,
done.
I've, I've done something very important for you. I'm just going to ensure, and I'll say that I'll go crazy at my kids if they don't call me. Now, what is a song that you listen to, when you're feeling stuck or you're down and you need a pick me up? What's your go-to song?
Huh. Hmm. Uh, this is a tough one because I have many songs that I listen to. But once again, I'm a Bengali, and I listen to a lot of Tagore songs. So Rabindranath Tagore is a Nobel laureate who
Okay.
had written a lot of poetry, a lot of songs and drama, and he had some of the songs that I grew up with, and they just inspire you, they motivate you so much that whenever I feel down, I feel like Tagore has a song for every emotion. So if I'm feeling happiness, I also listen to a Tagore song. If I'm feeling down, I also listen to Tagore songs. So yeah, that's my. I don't have one song, but I have several songs from Tagore that I listen to.
Nice. Um, Probably tough one for you to choose. Movie or TV series?
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, the TV series would be, there was this show, the O.J. Simpson
Yep.
one, which I think I saw it on Netflix. It's because there are different versions of the O.J. Simpson case, right? This is the fiction version that they did. I think we had, um, who was it? John Travolta was there. That's the one I'm
Oh
talking about.
wow.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
and it's one of the best shows because it had actually it's fictionalized, but of course it's based on all the facts.
Yeah.
But the presentation was from different, like every episode was from a different person's perspective, and it was so well done. It's just a masterpiece. That I think that's one of the shows that I've seen twice. So after watching it,
Nice.
I had to go
Yeah.
back to it one more time to just revisit the entire thing. Yeah,
Fantastic. Yeah.
so that's one of my favorite shows.
Okay. So obviously it's TV series over movies then.
Oh, well, I mean, movies, I have many, but I think my all-time favorite movie is Dreams by Akira Kurosawa.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I know that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's just one of those films that stays with me all the time. Like you mentioned about the song, I think it's one of those films that just I keep visiting to that film all the time, especially The Last Dream. Oh my God. Yes.
Nice. So we've definitely got to know you a little bit better with our quick fire questions. Thank you so much for that. But now, Shmita, we want you to grab two things, what we call your treasures from your work or your travels, that have special meaning to you and something that you would like to perhaps show it to your future grandkids. What have you got for us?
Okay. So, first of all, I have a basket with
There's
treasures
no
for
dear
my,
grandkids box, but there's
yes,
baskets.
for
First
my,
in the show, we'll take it.
yes, for my imaginary grandkids. I have two kits, uh, and both are actually my creation. So, one is a picture book, which is illustrated by me. The story is written by Lakshmi. She lives in the US, and it's published by Barefoot Books. It's one of the, one of my favorite publishers in the world. And there is a graphic novel. This is a YA graphic novel that I've written and illustrated, and it's by Penguin Random House. So, in the future, with my future grandkids, I would love to give these two books to them because this one talks about the power of, children coming together and making a change in the society.
Nice.
And this one is a story of resilience and friendship. It's a story from Kashmir in India, which is a conflict zone. And in that conflict zone, this little girl, 17-year-old Carb means dreams, by the way, she aspires to become a jiu-jitsu champion.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
so these are the two treasures I'm going to gift to my future grandkids.
Fantastic. Those are definitely treasures because it's something that you illustrated, created, wrote. What a fantastic present. So thank you so much for that. Shmita, that's amazing. But of course, here at Dear Future Grandkids, we kind of like to pry a little bit more because, as you know, this show was invented and created during COVID. So we
Mhm,
like to nosy into people's houses, especially where we can't be in the UK right now. So
mhm.
what we want to do is for you to show us, do you have a corner of shame? A corner that's messy, a corner where you chuck all your items when guests are coming. So would you like to share that with all of us?
I can show it to you, but with a disclaimer that I'm an borderline OCD person, so I keep
I can
everything.
see the background of your house with your shelves and your plants symmetrical, neat. So I
Yes.
believe you.
So my mess is also very symmetrical and neat.
You are
but
becoming my favorite person. I can empathize.
but let me show it to you anyway. Uh, okay, so this is my messy corner. Of
Okay.
course, that's my desk,
Yeah.
which has a lot of post-its that I need to work on. Then I have these things. Can you
Yeah.
see them?
Yeah. Are
Okay,
they
so
like stools or are they like laundry
yes, so these are
baskets? Yeah.
these are stools, and then
Okay.
I have some of my my script, the book that I'm currently reading, uh, my phone, of course, my charger, my phone charger is also there, like
Yeah.
it's hiding somewhere here. And this little basket that you can see, I
Yeah.
have neatly placed a crochet on top of it just to hide the mess inside, because it has my hard disks and other wires in it.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I also have this one. This is, when I'm illustrating, I need to exercise as well. So I use this as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and yes, so this is basically the mess that I have.
Yeah, Shmita, thank you so much for sharing, but I don't want to disappoint you, but that's probably the neatest corner of shame we have ever seen on Dear Future Grandkids with what, 65 guests so far. So if that is your corner of shame, you have no shame. Even like you said, your mess is organized. It's organized neatly. It's got a crochet cover. You've
like
covered
I
everything.
said,
Even
like
even
I
your
said,
post-its, I've noticed like they're neatly just almost symmetrical where you put them. It's on one side of the desk, and everything else is great.
even the color of the post-its, I choose the color of the post-its.
Oh, Shmita.
Sorry to
Oh.
disappoint you.
No, no, not disappointed at all. It's just really interesting to get a glimpse of how other people live, and trust me, nobody wants to see my corner of shame. But thank you so much for sharing that. Now we're going to just maybe tone things down a little bit, and just want to check. Do you told me that you just had your phone next to you, right?
Hmm.
Okay, that's good. So now is part of the show where we want you to leave a voice message for a friend or maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a while, but it definitely means a lot to you. If you just pick up your phone, find that person, leave a voice message, and then if you could tell us who that person is, and if that person replies to you before the end of the show, that'd be fantastic. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to send a voice message to a friend of mine. Um, it's not that I don't talk to him. In fact, I talk to him almost every day.
Okay,
But
okay.
but because we are also colleagues, professional colleagues, we're doing a project together. But sometimes I think I miss to tell him that how much he means to me and
Nice.
how much he's helping me with the work that I'm doing. So probably this is the moment to tell him that. So let's see. He will be surprised. He will just think it's a joke, because
I can't,
I never appreciate him. So
I can't wait to hear the reply, or if he replies to you, or he just be wondering what is going on. Okay,
yeah,
I,
he must
I,
be just thinking that. Yeah, he will be
yeah,
like, "What is this? What has happened to you?"
okay. In
Okay,
your own time, when you're ready.
okay, I'll do it now. Hey, Mikhail. Hi. Just wanted to thank you for being such a pillar of support and bringing TGAG to life. It means a lot to me. I know you must be thinking I'm crazy, but there's a reason for my craziness. Um, so cheers, mate. Thank you.
That was
Done.
that was nice, short and sweet, definitely
Yes.
meaningful, and you got straight to the point. So, what do you think his reaction will be when he goes, checks his phone, bing, oh, message from
He
Shmita, and going, what, a
I
voice message?
I think he's on a plane at the moment. That's why he might not be able to respond
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
But I can tell you, whenever he listens to this, he will be like, "What happened to you?" Because, like I said, he can't imagine. Like we speak, and he would always make fun of me, and I will make fun of him. So yeah, so he must be thinking there's something wrong about me.
Yeah, who's taking Shmita hostage? Why is she leaving me this sort of message? She's appreciating my help. What's going on
Yeah,
here?
exactly. Or he might just think that something has gone wrong with me. That's why he'll just go, "What is
Well,
it? Are you all right?"
Mikhail, either way, we're gonna find out. He's gonna get that message, and we'll all find out what
Yes.
happens next. Please, please. If he does reply, I'll obviously play now, but
Yeah.
we'll like to know. That'd be
Yes.
fantastic. Right, Shmita, moving swiftly along. So we know that you're illustrator. We know that you write. We know that you also executive produce movies. You write screenplays. So obviously, I mean, talent is definitely there. Skills is granted. You have all of it. But here in Dear Future Grandkids, that means nothing to us. Nothing.
Good.
Because we just want to know if you have a pointless skill.
Oh, I have many. This is the question you should have asked me in the beginning. I should have said many
Oh,
pointless skills.
okay, do share, like you have many, but what's a
Okay.
pointless skill, or
Hmm. Okay, so since we talked a lot about songs and singing and all of that, so I have a pointless skill, which is singing. So I sing.
but singing is not a pointless skill.
It
Singing is
is.
a fantastic skill.
It is. It is a pointless skill when I am singing because I'm not a singer and I'm a horrible singer. And now that you're allowing me to sing, you'll have to just bear with it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're waiting for it.
Okay, okay. So let me sing something for you. It will
Okay.
be in my mother tongue. It is a song that I have composed and I have written. Um, Pardon my singing, but I'll still just do it since you insist. Okay. Ra 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 রাতের মায়া জল ছবি হয়ে যায় পাতায় পাতায় সুর ভাসে নদীর মোহনায় স্বপ্ন ফুরিয়ে ছলকে ছলকে যায় ঘুরে ফিরে শুধু আসে ব্যথা আঙিনায় That's it.
I can't believe it. You wrote, composed this, and all I want to say is it's not a pointless skill. You've got a beautiful tone, and I do not understand obviously the language, but I felt, and maybe you could tell me if it's true in terms of the words, but from the tonality and all of it, I felt like it was a really nurturing song. Am I right? I mean, it just feels that it's so nurturing that what you're saying, even though I don't understand it, but the tone, the sound of it. So I mean, I'm so sorry, but what were the lyrics? What were you saying?
Yes,
Singing, sorry.
it's talking about nature. So you're right. It is a very nurturing song, but it also talks about the pain, the pathos in life, and how nature heals you. So it's a marry between nature and um, memories and yeah, pathos.
It's beautiful. So, silly question, like where can we hear this? Is it going to be on the film, or is it? It's just you
It's
just
a
wrote.
pointless skill. So I just,
What? It's
yeah,
not a pointless skill. You wrote that and composed it, and you just sang and you said it's a pointless skill. Shmita, you're crazy. It's not.
it is like I was saying, in the morning I wake up and I look at the sun, and then one day this tune came to me. I mean, sometimes tunes do come to me, and I just sat down and I wrote the song and I recorded it on my phone and I sent it to my mother.
Shmita, a normal person will just doom scroll on the phone. They don't just go with this time. You know what? This tune came to me, fantastic lyrics, really, really nurturing, and I just came out with that. Stop it, stop it. You're making all of us feel terrible about
Oh
ourselves, but
no.
but thank you so much. That was really beautiful, and yeah, maybe a first on the show as well. A pointless skill that is definitely not pointless. That was just beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Shmita, we want to hear more about like your childhood. Like where did you grow up?
Hmm. I grew up in a city called Calcutta.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Ah, my photo.
I love old photos like that.
I know, you
Yeah,
used to go to the studios and then like,
exactly.
yes, I miss those days. Yeah, so I grew up in Calcutta, which is in the eastern part of India. My parents still live there. I still call it my city.
And how long has it been since you left Kolkata?
Hmm. I left, I started leaving Calcutta in 2004. I
Okay.
started, moving out of Calcutta because of work to different, places inside India first, and then I started moving out of India as well. So yeah, from 2000, between 2004 to 7, there was like in and out of Calcutta. But then 2007 onwards, I've never lived in Calcutta.
Wow, that's a long, long time. So,
Yes.
what would you tell your future grandkids about like how you grew up? What would you tell them?
Uh, I would say I had a very happy childhood. I was loved. My parents, the best thing about my parents is that they never told me that I have to follow a script in life. So that's my mother. And this is a photograph taken in Mumbai, which is in the western part of India. And yeah, so my mother was, so today I create graphic novels, and the love
Yeah.
of graphic novels started from my mother because she was an avid reader of graphic novels. So
Wow.
yes, so we used to like read together, and that stayed with me. And my father, he yes, and that's my father, and that's Kashmir. The story of my
Yeah.
graphic novel is based there. Yes, and my father loves mountains. And he just, wherever you take him, he would just say, even if you take him to a beach, he's like, is there a mountain nearby? I'm like, Baba, there's not supposed to be any mountain.
There's a beach.
So yeah, but I think I have kind of, gotten it from him. I also love the mountains, and some curiosity inside me, the childlike curiosity is there
Yeah.
because of my father.
No,
Yeah, so growing up in Calcutta with my parents was fun, and it even today it keeps inspiring me, when I revisit my memories.
Nice. Now, what lessons did you like? Particular lessons did you learn from your parents? Like something that you carry with you till today. Like, what are some of the lessons?
uh, there are, I would say, one from my mother and one from my father. And they're also very different kind of people, so they see life in very different perspectives, from very different perspectives. So for my mother, she thinks that simplicity is very important in life, and that is what is happiness. And she uses this phrase that happiness is a habit. You have to practice it. You can't forget, like it's like a daily thing. If you don't practice happiness, you will never be happy. So you have to constantly remind yourself that you're happy, and you practice it. So yes, happiness is a habit. That's from my mother. And from my father, my father is also a theater actor and director. So he was always very passionate about different creative pursuits in life. And he knew the challenges that come with that. So one thing he has always told me is that do not let your external troubles, external problems kill your internal strength, because you have this
Oh,
inner strength, inner resilience, and there will always be external pressure. Let it be, because you can't help it. It will always be there. It's not under your control. But your inner peace, your inner strength is in your control. So don't let it die.
amazing lessons. Like practice happiness, which is something that's so profound because people just want to be happy and thinks that happiness is just something maybe you nurture or it happens to you and that's it. But to practice that, to remind yourself to be happy, I think that's so important. And also, what an amazing lesson just now from your father as well. That don't let outside factors change who you are. Pretty much in
Yeah,
affect you internally,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow, I mean, it's amazing growing up with parents like that. Obviously, you're very grounded, and it's fantastic. I mean, thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, we got to talk
Yeah.
about your movie as well, which obviously you wrote the screenplay, you executive produced as well, which is Before Life After Death. That's now on Netflix.
Yes.
How did this all come about? What was the concept, the idea about it, and how did you get it produced?
Uh, of course, filmmaking is not one person's job. It's a teamwork. It's a huge team, coming together. But somebody makes the beginning, and I think in our case, that's what I was. That I started creating it. Um, so the story was there. The story is something that I co-wrote with the director. So it was predominantly his story, but we were hashing it out together, the screenplay and everything. But I must tell you, everybody talks about the success of the film. It went to Netflix, it was premiered at the Singapore International Film Festival.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, this film was a result of many failures before this, because we tried a lot to create a film, a different story. We were really knocking doors everywhere to get funds and to get an opportunity to create our film. Everywhere the doors were shut, so there were so many failures. Perhaps we made so many mistakes, and we learned a lot from those mistakes. And finally this film happened. And of course, the even the making of the film was like, I was learning while I am doing this. So it's like I wasn't a producer from day one, even though I was a producer in my job, right? But I didn't know what I was doing. So I was just taking things, taking challenges one day at a time and doing it. But over a period of time, I understood what is producing and what it takes to become a producer. So I walked all those 9 yards to understand that. And I really appreciate the failures that I faced in creating this film.
No, that's a really good lesson that you shared there because obviously most people don't see the behind the scenes or the struggles or
Yeah.
how hard it is to achieve something or to get to that point, right? Because then people just judge what they see or maybe they think the process was easy. But that's a really good lesson there because um, you have to keep trying,
Yeah.
right? This steps to success are failures as well. You know, you rejections and everything else, but you keep trying. I know there's somewhere that I read as well where in terms of being successful, let's say on social media and being a content creator, you
Mhm.
have to keep posting like 100 videos or something like that before something really happens, right? But the main thing is because you're consistent at it, you keep doing it. Like you say, you were a producer by name then, obviously, but then you learn on the job, so you just get better and better and better at it, right?
Yes,
What I mean, that's
absolutely.
that's that's a really good story and great lesson as well. And I've watched the film as well, and it's based in Singapore. Was it
Yes,
always meant to be based in Singapore, that
yes,
story?
yes, it was always. So the director of the film, he started his career as a documentary filmmaker. And he did a lot of work in Singapore, working in shelter homes in Singapore, working with, women and teenagers in Singapore. So the story kind of also came from there. I also volunteered for an organization in Singapore that was working with kids in the detention center. So, all those influences started to come in together. And then I had a friend who lost her child through a very difficult situation. So that's why all those ideas were merging and coming together in the form of this film that we created. So it was a Singapore film. And the city of Singapore, the country of Singapore, where I have lived for more than a decade, it holds a very special part in my life, in my heart. So I really wanted to tell the story, and I wanted to tell the story to also let people understand the way I see Singapore.
Hmm.
Because Singapore to a lot of people is very glamorous, in the sense high
Yeah,
rises and Orchard
correct.
Street and
Yeah,
only shopping and
yeah,
brands. It's
yeah.
not that. It's also very human. There are human stories. You just have to go like beyond those skyscrapers, and you will find those human stories. And I wanted to share that. So it was certainly meant to be in Singapore.
No, it was lovely. It's a lovely movie with a strong message as well, and it's beautifully shot. And especially for people who are from Singapore, who lives here, they can see parts of Singapore that you don't normally see get shown in films or television, like you say as well. So it was really really nice. Now we just gonna talk about in terms of you and your legacy as well.
Mhm.
Now, what's the most important thing that I should know about you?
Hmm. Uh, Two things. One is I can wear many hats, and if I'm wearing those hats, I choose those hats. Nobody forces me to take them. And when I chose them, I'm very particular about wearing those hats. I don't do it just for the sake of doing it, or just to, immediately to show off that, oh, I am this. Like I gave you the example of being a producer.
Yeah.
Until and unless I walked the whole 9 yards, I didn't claim myself to be a producer. Today, I say it because I know what it takes to be a producer. But even when I was doing it during Before Life, After Death, I just called myself an executive producer. I did not know that I'm actually a producer. So, yeah, so that's one thing. And the second thing is I don't give up so easily. I choose my battles, but if I've chosen a battle, then I won't give up. Whether I win or not, that's a different thing.
Mm.
But I'm not going to leave the battleground. I will be there. Even if I die, I will be on the battleground.
You're strong, perseverance, and you mean what you say, right? And if you're going to
Yes,
do something, you're going to do it well.
yes, yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. How would you like to be remembered?
As a good person, and I think the word good is it has become very basic and fragile nowadays. Like people would say, what is being good? But I think goodness holds a very special place in the society. We need good people, you know.
I
Uh,
cannot agree with you more.
yes, yes. And we sometimes we tend to forget the value of these words. We just make them so simple, and we just think it doesn't have any meaning anymore, but it does. It does.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I want to be remembered as she was a good person. When I met her, she made me feel good.
I like that. I really like that. Um, so now we're going to just go into the future. And
Hmm.
Shmita, you're now 80 years old.
Oh.
Okay. But then you get to time travel and you meet yourself today. So Shmita at 80 is now talking to Shmita today. Now, what advice do you think 80-year-old Shmita will give the Shmita of today?
Okay. So, okay. So the 80-year-old Smita would tell this Smita
Yeah.
that, Smita, you're doing good. You're doing good. You're taking risks. Uh, you're embracing difficulties. You're failing, but you're not giving up. So that's a good thing. And remember that you are loved, and you're loved by the people that matter to you the most. So you're a happy person.
Nice. I like to meet 80-year-old Shmita and give me some advice. Hey, Shmita, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and building this video time capsule together. So, as we close the show, you get to leave a message. Now, what do you want to say to your future grandkids?
Okay, yes, my imaginary future
Your
grandkids.
imaginary future grandkids? Yep.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I have a message for them. My message to my future grandkids would be that, dear future grandkids, if you want to create good art, then you have to take risks and embrace discomfort. And this is because one of my favorite artists of all times, Charlie Chaplin, said this thing, which is art is only great by virtue of its limitation. So don't get comfortable. Don't get too comfortable, because good art cannot be created from a very comfortable zone. There has to be some sort of discomfort in your life, in your mind, in your environment to create good art. That's my message to my future grandkids.
A wonderful message. And Shmita, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's been absolutely fantastic having you here. And to everyone watching as well, thank you. And this has been Dear Future Grandkids, where we look to the past to give us lessons for the future. And thank you once again to our wonderful guest, Shmita. So, Shmita, before we say goodbye, like, where can we find you and what's coming up next in the world of Shmita in terms of your projects? Because, you just sit there and do nothing, or when you have nothing to do, just, create a song, compose it, and sing it. Just what are you not doing? I think what are you not doing is the right question.
Before I say that, where you can find me, I must say I am very, very thankful to the entire team of Dear Future Grandkids. Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure, and it's been one of the most lovely experiences that I
Oh,
have had this year so far. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me and making me a part of this. Uh, where you can find me, I'm very much available on social media. So I have a Instagram page, which is my full name, Debasmita Dasgupta, or Debasmita Doodles. There is, you will find plenty of information about my artistic work on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn. Again, my full name, Debasmita Dasgupta. You would be able to find me as a graphic novelist and a film producer. And I'm also on Facebook. So yeah, just look out for me, and you'll be able to find me.
fantastic. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will connect with you as well. But from all of us here at Dear Future Grandkids, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your childhood and the life lessons that your parents have imparted as well. So that we thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
And thank you all for watching, Dear Future Grandkids. Take care and have a fantastic day. See you all. Bye.